Hi again. Now I'm going to talk about windows and outer doors in BE10. I hope you enjoy it and you feel comfortable when you are doing the assignment afterwards. As you can see here, the same as before, I have listed up all the columns that we have so you can see how many different things that we have to go through. If I go to BE15, you can see I've already filled it out for the building that we have. It's very important that you give the windows good names, and I have given the names on which facade it is at, so north facade, and the size of the window. So if I go to the drawing, you can see here I have the different windows, and these are at the north facade. And you can see I've written in the height here, which I have from the elevations. So what I have is that I have 3 of these windows. That's the number. I know the orientation of the window is to the north, and here I can have 8 different orientations. So I can also have in between. That means I can have northeast or west south, or I can just have it to the corners. Then I have the inclination, and the inclination is for horizontal and up. So normally that angle will be 90 degrees because you have the horizontal here, then the window is placed here, then it's the angle in between there. Then we have the area, and that's the area of the window. So this is the area of one window. You have to remember that the area and the number are multiplied by each other. I could also have written 1 here and then the area of the total there. That's a common mistake, to write the numbers and the total area of the window that we have here. But it just has to be of one of the windows then here. Then we have the U value, and the U value we have from the energy report, where we have found the U value for the window, and we do that by looking at the company. I think it's one up here. We go to Energy windows and look for which type, and then we can see we have the U value for the window there. Then normally the B factor for window is 1, because normally we will have 20 and minus 12 outside. Then the specific heat loss is calculated by the program itself. Then we have the F factor, and the F factor is how many percentage glass there is. So that means that in this window I actually have 75% of glass and 25% of frame. And I have actually taken that from also from the table that I have from the company. So I have used that. So if I go to the energy report, if I go back here, you can see here I have the FF factor here. That's the one I have used. You can also calculate it out from each window, but I've just used this one here. Then we have the G factor, and the G factor is how much sun that is getting through, sunlight that's getting through the window, and that we also have from the table here. In here you can see we have the G factor, and that's how much sun that is getting through, and it has to be this one here for the whole window. The one I was looking at here is just for the glass. So we have the one that is called GW, and this is the one that we have to put in here. So that means it's actually not, because there's so good energy windows, there's not so much sunlight getting through. Then we have the shading here, and the shading is actually the next table. And the next table we have down here. So before we can fill it out in the window table here, we have to go down and fill this table out here. And it's from the outside how much shading there's getting at the window. And what we can do is that we can see we have from horizons, from eave, that's overhang from left and right, if we have jumps in the facade, and how the window is placed in the wall. What you can do is that you can click, and then we can press F1 to get into the SBI. And here we have, even though that this is in Danish, we have the small drawings of how we find out what it is. From the horizon, it's a window here, and we have in the middle of the window, and then if we have a tree or a building next to that makes a shade here, then it's this angle we put in. If we have an overhang, an eave, middle of the window and up to the outer side of the overhang, and then that's angle is what we put in. And here it jumps in the facades, middle of the window, and to how much the facade is jumping out, and then this angle. And then we have, for how it's placed in the window opening, we have from outside the window to outside the wall divided by the smallest width of the window. That's what we have to do, times 100. So that's how we fill these out with angles. And you can also see for these, we don't have anything at the horizons, we don't have any eave in this example here, but we have jumps left and right, in the left and right, we have it, and then we have placed the window openings like this. So if we go and see here in the energy report, you can see how we need to make the documentation for the shading. If I go up, I have it here. Here you can see I have calculated for the different windows what angle that they have, so we can see it, and that's what I have put in here. Then I go back to here, and then what I can do is I can control click, so I press control and then I click, then this open up and I can put in what I need here. Therefore it's really good to have good names so I know which one goes to which window. Then we have the FC factor, and the FC factor is, I always say this is curtain, because as this was outside, then this is inside. And when we have 0.8, that means that we have normal curtains there. And if we have 1, then we don't have any curtains. And then we have the temperature inside and outside, and because it's default 20 and -12, I don't need to fill it out. And then the heat loss is calculated by itself. And then this column here, where I have 1 is in the critical rooms, and that goes to the summer comfort. So when we're going to go through this, then I'll explain why we have 1 here. Now I would like you to go to the assignment. And go under Windows here, and then we have all the different factors that we need to put in down here, and we have the windows up here, the size of them, and then new values, and then we have how they are placed here. And remember, this window here is north, and then we have a door here, 2 windows here at east, and then we must have south here, and we just have this 1 window. This is just so we can have the measurements. This is not a window. And then we have 2 windows up here in west facade. Please try to fill it out in the assignment before you move on. See you soon.